Rachel, welcome to the How to Be a Redhead podcast.
Oh my goodness. Hello. It is such an honor to be here.
Likewise, we're so excited to
We're
talk
so
with
excited.
you. I know, we're huge fans. Yeah, and we'll go into your career and you on shrinking. But before we do, we wanted to ask, or a question we like to ask our guests who are redheads. What was it like for you personally growing up with red hair?
Oh, that's so good to think about. Let me think. So I, growing up, did not want to be a redhead. Like I hate, because I wanted
Same.
Cinderella, right? Like all the like Disney icons of my age were blonde, and I wanted to be blonde so badly. And as I'm sure you both know, like
Yeah.
blonde does not work with my skin tone. Like I used
Right.
to wear wigs as a kid, and it was not a good look. And I'm really glad my parents never let me dye my hair. But then I saw like Kim Possible started being a thing, and then of Daphne. And so then for Halloween, I started being like, oh, I could save money on wigs here.
Yeah.
I grew into it.
Yeah, and where did you grow up?
I grew up in LA. Born,
Okay.
live
Okay.
here.
So did you grow up with a lot of redheads around you in your class, or were you kind of the only redhead?
I was the only one, which
Okay.
is nice because it like gives you an automatic way to stand out.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then I have three younger brothers, and like the first two not redheads, but then the last one was, and I was like, this is huge for me.
So Rachel, with you having, so your younger brother was a redhead. Did you guys have a special bond with both being redheads?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. He might not, but I am gonna say yes. We he doesn't like being a redhead as much as I do because he's a guy. But
Isn't that interesting that you said that though? It's interesting how guy redheads are so, it's so different
We have a
with being a
different
guy redhead
experience
as a
than as
being.
girls, I think, or like women. I don't know why. There's such a difference. Like, I think it's society, like, right? They sexualize women, and then men, they're like, oh, you're Ed Sheeran, or I don't know. I feel like it's more bullying with men. Of course, I don't know everyone's circumstance, but I do feel like from everyone we've talked with, men have a harder time being redheads than women sometimes.
So it could be that men need more representation, maybe with celebrities, for example, because we have Julianne Moore, Jessica Chastain. We have these beautiful women that, are
We look up
they're
to
in
them.
front of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then, so Rachel, you agree?
Oh, 100%. I feel like,
Yeah.
like, especially when you're a woman as a redhead, like, it's always like, oh, yeah, you look like Lucille Ball. Like, you get all these, like, elegant, classic. And my brother gets Ed Sheeran all the time.
Which Ed Sheeran is awesome.
He's awesome. No, there's nothing wrong with Ed
I
Sheeran.
know.
Like, 13-year-old teenage boy who, like, has no facial hair. Like, I don't know where that comes from. Yeah. What celebrities do you guys get?
That we look alike?
That we look like? No, we don't get it. I don't get any.
I just feel like what happens is, don't you feel like this, that people will just compare you to any redhead they know? Like, I know a redhead.
Yeah.
I know a redhead who, whatever, my coworker, my cousin, like, and I'm like, great, that's awesome. As if I know that person. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. I like literally people like all the time now will be like, oh, you look so much like her, and I'll watch it and I'll be like, where?
Like we actually look nothing alike.
It's just the color of my hair is the same. That's a riot. I know. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, and we're gonna get into your acting career, but recently you acted in a play called Queen Bee. And we'd love to hear a little bit more about that. In the play, you're playing a 12-year-old middle school girl. And we know redheads can experience a lot of teasing at this age. And we were wondering how it was to channel that 12-year-old you. And what was your experience in middle school as a redhead? It's interesting how you're channeling this 12-year-old.
I would say in middle school's not like a great place for anyone.
No, I would never go back to that age ever.
Totally fair. I don't think anyone thrived in middle school. But that's when people started to realize, like, we have hair on our head, we have hair on our eyebrows, we have hair, and like that was the big question, was like, you know what I'm at? Like,
I get it.
Yeah.
without saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like all of middle school for me. That was all I
That
remember
was
about
all middle school?
no
I
algebra, none
never
of that.
Oh my
No schoolwork, no learning, just that
Yeah,
question.
not go out of that tuition, but I remember that.
Oh my god. I remember I was older when I heard that question for the first time, and I was so caught
I
off
was almost
guard
in
because
college the first time I heard it.
yeah, same. I had never heard it growing up, and maybe it was how Adrian and I don't know, no one asked us that. But then yeah, I remember I was in New York City and I heard it, and I remember being like, "Oh my god. Is that a question that every hair color?" I mean, like it's such a awkward thing to be asked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious that they even brought that up in middle school. I don't know about you guys, but as I was reading, like when I was thinking about you as like a 12-year-old girl and like playing that role, I don't know about you, but you know how they say in therapy that you're supposed to like go back and like talk to that young girl, like that 12-year-old girl. You're supposed to go back and talk to her and it's supposed to be therapy. Like, you know, Stephanie and I had
Oh.
like some traumatic things happen, like everyone at a young age. And my therapist at the time was like, oh, yeah, just go back and talk to her and comfort her. And I was like, I don't know why I don't want to do that. I don't even want to
Oh
step back into being 12. Like, I don't want
no,
to do
every
that.
time I see a picture of me in middle school, I'm like, we gotta like burn these. Cannot be okay. There's
Yeah, so
like,
true. And how did talking about middle school, is that when you started acting or how did you get started in acting in your life?
yeah, I don't really like being on a Redhead podcast. I can really like think about it. I think a lot of my career and what got me into acting had to do with having red hair, just in the sense that,
Mm.
like, like when you're a redhead, everyone's like, you could do commercials.
Yeah.
And I was like, obviously, yeah, that's where I'm gonna shine. I thought I would be like a Disney Channel kid. That was my big dream. I'm still holding out for it, but
Yeah.
doing commercials, I think, in middle school because in fifth grade I sang Tomorrow from Annie, and one of the women there was
Oh.
commercials. Um, and so yeah, I like kind of started in middle school. Like my mom would pick me up and drive me to these commercial auditions, none of which I got. We spent a lot of money in gas. Um, but yeah, it really did start. Like I did a few musicals. I'm not the best singer, but I was like, really singing my heart out, which also those videos I don't need to exist anymore. But yeah.
Wow. Did you grow up in LA and that's why you were able to drive to all these auditions? Okay.
Which is
That's helpful. Yeah, and
That's
then
really
how
great.
did comedy get into kind of your life?
I also think, I was a funny looking kid. I had braces.
Weren't we all?
We're
I mean, I had
all.
braces and stop sign shaped Nickelodeon
I told
glasses
Stephanie more
and
metal, the better back then.
Oh, 100%. 100. I had
Retainer,
I
braces.
well, I sucked my thumb. So I had this like metal bar that would come out down here, so I couldn't get my thumb like back there, spreading out my teeth. So I was like, I can be funny because I don't have a lot else going on.
What about stand-up comedy? Would you ever do it or have you thought about it?
I did it in college and I really did like it, but you know what? Never say never. Maybe in the next year I'll get back on that horse.
Do you watch
you should.
Hacks? Do you watch Hacks on HBO or Max?
So I watched season 1 and then it left on like a cliffhanger that made me nervous and then I could never get back in, but I know it's such a good show and I need to commit to
Oh
it.
It's such a
gosh.
great show. And,
Yeah.
we're such a fan of her in real life, Hannah. And I know that she just has her first
But
stand up coming up. And so I was just thinking about how, I don't know. I think it's her first one, but she's so
Mm.
funny. So then I was like, well, I feel like you're so funny. So I just love to see people do great things. So maybe in your future, you'll also have a stand up.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Yes, yes. So you most recently played Summer in Apple's Shrinking, and all of us have watched it. We just loved it. I mean, the fact that Harrison Ford is in the show is so amazing. So can you tell us what it was like working on Shrinking and portraying your character Summer? And then, of course, we also heard that Harrison Ford complimented your red hair. So we want to hear all about it.
I love that.
I know.
Working on Shrinking is like the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I don't have words to express, like, these are all people that I've really looked up to growing up, and like, even now when I see them, I'm like, and yeah, day one, I was so nervous, because these aren't just like it's like Harrison Ford is in his own category, I would say, but he was so right into the trailer and he goes, "I'm Harrison, I like your hair," and I was like, I'm never going to wash my hair ever. Like,
this is my peak moment. This is the peak right now.
Yeah, and I was like, this is why being a redhead pays off a little bit.
Yeah, I could picture his voice because it's kind of monotone, or I don't know the right, it's deep
Rachel,
too.
I like your hair. Like, it must have been like,
yeah,
I can picture it too. I know. He was so funny on the show, which I wasn't expecting. Because when I think of him like, strong,
in a serious role.
Yeah. And then he's really funny in it. And I just really, really enjoyed the series. And I know season 2 is coming out, right?
Yeah. Is it currently in production?
It's currently in production. I have no idea. Every day my grandma is like, when is it coming out? I'm like, I have no idea. But it is. It's in production now. Yeah.
So, okay. So in production means you've already taped it?
So we're still filming. Filming.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So you will be making a reappearance on season 2?
Yeah. I mean, I should have checked on what I can say, but yeah.
Well, you need us to edit it. Just let us know.
Fine.
And was Summer always a redhead? Was it ever talked about you changing your color, wearing a wig, or was it she's a redhead?
No. So here's like the insider to when I get auditions. Most of the time it'll just be like, she's a girl, she's in high, like not the Shrinky one specific, but like usually it'll just be like a general description, and then like you'll assume that like they're willing to look at you because they took your headshot to begin with. But then sometimes I'll get an audition that's like, she's a redhead, and I'm like, no one else can have this role, this is mine. It turns out. But no, Summer was just like a girl.
She was just a girl. Okay. But it does help to have a redhead on TV, don't you think? Like, just in terms of it being like aesthetically pleasing to look at. I'm like, oh, of course they like put a redhead in here because it just looks good on TV. Like, it just really does. I can see why they say that 30% of commercials are feature redheads.
More now,
like,
but yes.
Because like red is just so nice to look at on TV. Yeah.
Oh, so I know it's fun too, because sometimes there'll be commercial editions that are like for redheads specifically. So you go into the waiting, like all these girls that look just like you with their red hair and their little barrettes.
What is that like to see other redheads at auditions?
An audition.
Redheads at auditions.
Yeah.
This is going to make me sound like a bad person. But I think so much of my life was like, I want to look like other girls, and I want to have like the like straight blonde hair. And then when you realize like you have this thing that makes you special, you're like, no one else can have it. Yes. So there's no other actress with red hair. And so then I go into a room and there's like 40 girls who look exactly like me. And I need to tune it out a little bit.
I know. I can understand that. And I think there's some form, and we've talked about this on other podcasts before, but there's some form of like competing with other redheads. Like, I don't know why, like, we interviewed someone the other day, and this was so funny. And before, I always do research on the person that we are interviewing, And so I was like doing a deep dive in her Instagram, and I like became like, I was like, oh, her hair is like the perfect shade of red. Like, how do I get that shade of red? Like, and then I thought to myself, I do have a similar shade of red, but I was like competing with her in a way
with her
because her hair was so pretty. And then instead, I don't know, there's some kind of comparison that redheads do to other redheads. Like, I don't know why we do that, but we compare ourselves, and what we should be doing is just saying like, oh, they're perfect. Like, my hair is perfect. Like, I don't know, we should be lifting each other up. But I feel like there's something, I don't know if it's a woman thing, but there's something about competing with other redheads. I don't know what it is, especially like, when you see another redhead, I'll automatically be like, do you think it's natural? Do you think it's natural or is it
The
dye?
dye
Because sometimes it's
so
just
good.
so good. It's so good. The dye's so good. You don't know.
It's so good. Like, so often I'll be talking to someone. She's like, "Oh yeah, I just did it." I'm like, "I thought that was like they really stepped it up."
Some people are meant to be redheads. They really are. Like their skin color and their eyebrows and their eye color and their confidence, something about like the way that they are. They're just meant to be redheads. I
Yeah,
completely agree.
I remember when my husband has a group of friends from out of college friends, and then after college friends, but they all kind of like meshed and became one. And I remember when I started dating him, I was Stephanie, the girlfriend who was a redhead, and then once his other friends started dating a redhead, I was like a little bit like, oh my gosh, there's another redhead in the mix. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, now they've been together quite a while and they're married, so it's fine. But when we're together, it does feel it's a little bit weird, I will say, just because
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I'm
It's
so
like you're
used to
supposed to be the rare one sticking out, and now she's like competing with you.
it's not, yeah, and it's not, maybe not competing. Yeah, it's a little like I was supposed to be the redhead, and then now there's two of us.
And Rachel,
So
obviously, that's how you feel at auditions, right? Like you feel
yeah, or
like
everyone thinks we're sisters,
you're
and I'm like,
supposed
we
to be
look
the
nothing
redhead, and then
alike.
all these 20 plus people think they're the redhead.
Yeah,
No, it's me. It's me.
It's only
yeah,
you.
Me.
it's me. It's me. I like,
I
yeah,
have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys wear green on St. Patrick's Day.
I don't. I know.
I
We're
love
not.
the color green, but I
You do love the color green,
might
but
just
you don't
wear
wear
it.
green.
I might just wear it because I just wear it all the time. I like love the color green. And then recently we did a color analysis with a professional. It's like another podcast we did. And I got the feeling that she does not think that I look good in these dark colors. Like I just have a feeling that she doesn't think that I look good in them, but I'm like, they're my favorite colors. But no, to answer your question, I might, but not even be thinking about it. But it has to be like a dark shade of green. There's so many shades of green.
Yeah, I don't like
That's
the bright.
fair.
How about you? Are you wearing green on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, so I've never been in a room of redheads to ask this, but this St. Patrick's Day, I had like such a uniquely redhead experience, which was I love green. Like that's like my color. And I was wearing my green little workout set, not on purpose, but like everywhere I went that day, like I like slowly the realization came that it was St. Patrick's Day. I was head to toe in green, and like everywhere I went, oh, it's a leprechaun, and I was like, that's really funny.
That's hilarious. So you just did it by
No.
accident and then everyone was calling you out.
And I was like, I learned my lesson. I'm going to burn everything that I own that's green. Because it's hard. You have to
Yeah.
I can't do an Irish accent. Like, it's just not in my wheelhouse.
Well, that's like on the 4th of July. I don't really own anything that has flags on it, but I just wear denim shorts with the white shirt. And then I remember last year, we went somewhere and someone's like, "Where's your red?" And I was like, "On my head."
Yeah, like red, white, and blue.
White and blue. And then no one really, I mean, I was joking about it, but I ended up like throwing on a red lip, I think, to be like, okay, here's my red, because people were like, oh yeah, I guess that's right. But we naturally just have red, on our head.
Rachel, are there any colors you won't wear as a redhead?
There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm really pale, which people are like, oh my God, you're so, like, what else would I be? I'm a red, like, what am I going to be? Super tan. So there's a lot of things that just like very much wash me out. I'm not a big like yellow. I don't think
I know
that works for.
I know. Pam, our producer, looks really good in yellow. I know, but I can't wear yellow either. Well, I mean, I don't have it, but I feel like I wouldn't look good in it.
And light pinks, I feel like for my skin tone, like blend in together. And sometimes people are like, "Are you naked?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Good question, but no.
Maybe a bright pink.
Yeah, which is like pink is my favorite color of all time, but I just haven't found the right one yet.
What about you? Maybe a darker shade of pink, like almost like a fuchsia.
I love lilac. I wear a lot of lilac.
Ooh.
And the color analysis woman last week, she liked it on you. I like that color on me. So then I thought, okay, I think I'm a spring. She's trying to tell me I'm not. I mean, we have to do a whole thorough she was on our podcast, and then we have to now go do a thorough Zoom with her where it's not recorded. But I think she was trying to say I'm a spring without saying I'm a spring.
Until she does
but
it, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't wear a lot of green, like dark green. I think this fall and winter I'm going to get more jewel tone colors because I just don't wear a lot of jewel tone. I love what you're wearing right now. Is it black and white?
Oh, it's a black and white. My
Love
blue
black. I mean, you can't go wrong. What two classic colors, right?
class. I would be scared to do the color analysis though, because like, what happens if like your go-to outfits are not great?
I know.
Like, I just don't want to.
I know. She said it's life changing and then she was saying it takes some years to accept if they've like their whole life that you've been using one color.
Like, what if she tells you, Rachel, that you look perfect in soft pink, and
or
you're
yellow?
Like, you're like, well, I don't know. It's going to take me until 2026 to accept this.
Yeah.
Grow to love it.
Redheads, have you heard?
We aired on ABC's Shark Tank, episode 14, season 15. We are busy developing products and continuing to grow this incredible redhead lifestyle brand.
Check out our mascara and eyebrow products in red hot shades, hair care, merch, lifestyle items, and so much more. Redheads, we can now rejoice.
Finally, there are products for us.
Use code podcast to get 15% off your next purchase. Shop at shop.howtobearedhead.com.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
I was wondering about your makeup. So I see you have a little mascara on. Do you have blonde eyelashes like typical, or are they dark? What are they like?
Because your brows look dark.
Yeah, your brows are dark.
My brow, all of this is like brown.
Wow, you're lucky because ours are like they're so blonde, they're non-existent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're like non-existent.
Well, Adrian's way more than me.
Yeah, it's true. Stephanie can get away with wearing no mascara. If I showed up to this podcast with no mascara, you guys would think that I was ill.
I actually love wearing no mascara recently, just because I just do my brows recently because of sunscreen, and then I'm outside and it's hot, but mascara usually is my go-to, but some days I'm like, I'm not gonna wear it. But yeah, Adrian's are like super
they're
blonde.
They're you can't see them. Yeah, and my eyebrows too. So it's been like such a journey, and yeah, it's been.
How about freckles? Do you have freckles?
Oh, I mean, like, you can't really see them now. More in the summer. Like, once the sun comes out, it's like
freckles out.
I try to wear the sunscreen. That's like the most everyone tells you. Like, oh, you're right. You wear SPF. I try so hard, but nothing stops the freckles from coming. And I burn super easily. Like, I'm always just red.
Yeah, I know. So being in LA, because you're in LA right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just seek shade or like just wear sunscreen every day?
I do. I don't look good in hats, so I don't really, what am I supposed to do? I mostly burn. I try to wear a lot of sunscreen, and I try to hide as much as possible. I went to a wedding last week and we were in the sun, and the whole time I'm like with my bag like this, trying to.
Like the ceremony was in the sun, or the reception?
Yeah, which is beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding, but like I'm like this.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
I would hate that.
I went to a wedding last year, and the whole ceremony was in the sun, and thankfully it was like kind of behind you, but on the side. But then, I noticed my face was like so red on this side I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean, I think they should have given everyone like umbrellas.
You know what? That is one thing about the Asian culture that I wish that we would take here is my sister-in-law lives in South Korea, and she sends us pictures of her and her kids, like doing whatever they're doing and playing on the playground, whatever they're doing in South Korea. And they always have a little umbrella, even the two kids.
I love it. They call it a parasol, right? A parasol or something? Did I make that word up?
I don't know. But I thought, why can't we normalize that here? That is just the coolest thing in the world, because they want to stay perfect. They have their perfect Korean skin. It's like gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like people would make fun of me if I was walking in the middle of New York City with a little umbrella. I
think New York City, you could get by with that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe in like LA, I feel like I'd be like, I don't know. People are really about just do you. But I just feel like I would be looked at.
Yeah,
Because
I
I'm
know,
a redhead. Because I'm a redhead, they'd be like, "Oh."
or like, what would Josh is Adrian's husband, what would Josh think if he was
He'd be
walking next
jealous.
to you?
He'd be jealous, but he wouldn't put an umbrella on, but he would be jealous. He'd be like, "Oh, it must be
Yeah.
nice under there." Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That would be just a dream of mine to be able to have those little umbrellas. Oh,
Yeah.
I need one.
I mean, bring it back. Every week there's like a new trend that I'm like, why? Why can't
I know, we have to bring it back. I have to ask, and I know Adrian wants to ask too, your curls
Mhm.
are beautiful, like,
you?
absolutely stunning. What is your day-to-day, like, maintenance look like in terms of products
And
and how you
sleeping
care
on
for
it.
them?
And sleeping on it. What do you do?
So here's the thing, and I would love to be
Oh,
like,
you do little maintenance.
it will. I will like sometimes spend hours on my hair and it looks awful. And then sometimes I will like, just kind of like this. And like right now it looks so good. I'll say it. I'll say it. Like it
Yeah,
curls
it does.
It
well.
does.
It has so much volume at all the right points on
Yes.
your head, like, not flat. It just falls so beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you. It doesn't typically look like this. I don't know what right now I'm using the pattern curl gel. It's like the yellow one.
Oh.
I got it at Sephora for $24 and then I went to Ulta and it was 12, but whatever. Um
Oh gosh, I don't like that. I get
No.
really
That would
upset when
irritate
that
Stephanie
happens
so bad. She
too.
would return and go repurchase. I know you,
Yeah, I
Steph.
would.
Yeah.
I would.
Mhm.
I do that with the Ordinary has a hyaluronic acid. It's like
Mhm.
$25 on Amazon, $9 at Ulta. I'm like, Adrian,
I
and I
know.
saw you purchased it on Amazon a
No, that
couple
was for
months ago.
2. That was for 2, a pack of 2.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to. Everyone is. If Amazon is listening, we all share one account with our family.
Good.
I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but when I saw it as the email, because I get all the emails from all the orders, I was about to screenshot it to Adrian and be like, "Why did you just spend double?"
I probably spent an extra $4 or $5 now that you say that, right? For the just a 2.
Yeah, but Rachel, that would have really upset me if you found out if I found that
So
out.
angry. And I just got like the Sephora credit card to get the discount. I was like, this is gonna be my call. And then I realized that like I could have just gone to Ulta and saved all that money, but whatever.
So it's
Working so
patterned.
hard.
Doesn't who owns that company? Is it I'm drawing a blank. Or who started it? I have to look it up. Um I could be totally making this up.
Let's see. Pattern. Where's my phone? I don't even have it. Like a celebrity, like an actor.
Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's
Oh,
daughter.
That makes sense because they all
Diana
have
Ross's
perfect
daughter
hair.
started. Yeah, and she
she
started
killed it.
Pattern. It's a yellow bottle with like
Yeah.
black lettering.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Diana Ross's daughter.
Yeah. She literally.
Wow, so it's a good curl cream. So do you do it when it's wet or dry?
So I do it when it's wet, and then I
Okay.
just got the I just like I don't know. Every week I'm trying a new anti-frizz thing. Like when it's
Oh.
wet, I just like scrunch it all in there.
Okay.
I try
I need
not
to
to.
do
My big that I'm trying to get away from is washing my hair as much as I do. I love a good shower.
I
Yeah,
know. I
same.
know. And a clean scalp. I'm telling you, it's just so
It's
nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice.
It's
Yeah.
like oh, I feel like a new person every time I'm out of the shower. But like you're not supposed to wash your hair that often. And this is like 3 or no, I guess I washed it yesterday and now it's like going strong. But yeah,
But
I
with
just
curls, yeah, I feel like with curls though, you have to wash it more because then they like. How do you put your hair up when you sleep?
I got one of those like I have like a silk bonnet, so
You
I put it up
do.
and then I put the bonnet on and it's like changed my life too because when I move a lot when I sleep.
Same. I think I need to get that because I've been embracing my natural waves a little bit more, but then when I wake up in the morning, it's like a hot mess. So I just don't do anything to my hair. But I think Adrian, you mentioned the bonnet
Mm-hmm.
on a
Mm-hmm. I mean, it
recent
just
episode.
keeps my blowouts. It just keeps everything
Oh,
like
you
all
do it for
tucked
blowouts.
into the
Yeah.
silk. Yeah, I just love that.
People like the pillowcase too. I feel like
Yeah.
those are like
I can't do the pillowcase because I don't like to slide around.
No, me
Like I need
either.
to
I
like
do not like a
stay on
silk
that cotton
pillowcase.
pillow, and I don't want my head like moving on the pillow,
Yeah,
like
same.
sliding.
Same.
Yeah. So I'm
I
like, I
feel
can't
like
do the silk pillowcase. I've tried it. I've really tried, but I just can't go there. I don't know.
I feel like I'm gonna look very bizarre with I'm gonna have on the bonnet and then I wear an eye mask and sometimes I do wear earplugs.
Oh, yeah, I do the same.
Knock out the senses.
Oh, yeah, you gotta just, like, black out at night.
Yeah.
And Rachel, I wanted to back up. When you said anti-frizz product, have you found one that you really love or are you still experimenting with other products?
I'm still experimenting.
Yeah, same. I know.
Uh,
You don't have humidity in
Yeah,
LA.
you don't know how lucky you are. It would
I know I
So
went to New York last summer and like all week my hair was like up to here. I was just drenched everywhere I walked.
Yeah,
So
that's how it
it's
is.
really brave.
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
Really
bad. I know
brave.
when we always say this, Adrian, right? We're like, no wonder celebrities always look good when the paparazzi takes pictures of them in LA because there's no humidity. So like
Oh,
their hair
100%.
is just
Full
flat.
Malibu trees.
Yeah, and then New York, it's like what you said, it's like a hot mess
oh,
because
yeah.
especially if you're in the city during the heat and then you're underground with the trains, that is just
It's brutal.
disaster.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
brutal. It's really brutal. So we wanted to ask you, Rachel, do you have a dream acting role? Like a dream, like put it
Mm.
out there, manifest it. What is your
Manifest.
dream?
Growing up, I always really wanted to play like an iconic redhead. You know, like
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Daphne Scooby Doo was like my really, really big one.
Yeah.
I think I'm too old for Kim Possible now. I'm also not athletically gifted at all, so I have to put that one aside. But the one I get to, I can't do a Scottish accent to save my life, but everyone tells me I look like Merida from Brave. So I'll be waiting for a call.
Oh, yeah. Is that something that you get asked during auditions? Like, can you do certain accents, or would that be under the job description?
I honestly have never gotten like Scottish or Irish, and that's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah. What is your nationality or your ethnicity?
Because
Um,
redheads are from all over the world, you know?
Yeah, it's a beautiful
let me.
thing.
I think my like great grandparents were from Poland,
Okay.
Oh,
so it
okay. Yeah.
helped me with the redhead thing though.
I know. You never know. I mean,
You never know. As Adrian said, there's redheads in all different races, countries. It's really it's beautiful
yeah, we're doing a
yeah.
whole rebrand shoot for How to Be a Redhead in a couple weeks in the Hamptons. And we're so excited because we have 10 redheads that are from all different walks of life. We have like
Mhm.
all, and we're so excited to show everyone because Stephanie and I have been like trying to find redheads that represent all different kinds of redheads, not just like the traditional, you know, like Irish redhead that you would think is all redheads. So yeah, we're really
Yeah.
excited about that because it's just I think it's important to kind of break that stereotype,
Yeah.
you know, and like
That's
show.
Yes.
so
Yeah. But by the
awesome.
way, Rachel, I was so enamored by your email to us. I think it was to Pam, and you were just like, my grandma said she watched Shark Tank, and I was wondering how that
Other
interaction was.
I
screenshot.
missed that
It was so
email.
I
cute.
could find the text. She was like, of course, she's my nana. She watches Shark Tank, as all grandmas do, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, was it fun? Was it like fun going on? I don't know.
It was
Yes.
really amazing. It was like a
It was a feeling. It's hard to
yeah.
put in
Like it's like a
words, the
feeling like I wonder
feeling.
if I'm ever going to feel that again. You know, in terms of working so hard for it. I'm sure people must feel that who are in the acting world. Like you work so hard, you prepare, and then like you do well. Like and you're like, oh, like and it's a relief that you just like gave it your all and did well. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean, we pitched in the tank for like 45 minutes to an hour. So we were like more
Oh,
nervous about like how like they cut it down to 12 minutes, right? So no, but it was an incredible experience just like do it together and like prep and I can't tell you how awesome it was, right, Steph? It was
Yeah,
just
and I
really
wasn't
awesome.
really thinking about it. Like I didn't have butterflies. They have someone on set who I think I really think his job, other than like what his real job is his personality is like he takes you away from where you are at that present moment. So he was talking about being at a concert and this and
And
this and
telling stories
being
about like one of his
Italian.
ex-wives, right? Like making
Yeah,
us
yeah.
laugh.
And like we
But
were saying, we're from New England and we're Italian. And he was talking about his ex wife being Italian. So it was nice because then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, for like those 2-3 minutes of talking to him, I didn't think about where we were at that present moment, if that makes sense. And then doors open and Adrian said tits up from Hacks. If you
No, Marvelous.
I mean, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
That's
My God.
I know my myth.
Yes, Marvelous
Do you
Mrs.
love
Maisel. I don't know
that
why I said it.
show,
Ah,
Rachel? I just loved Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I had to do
ah.
something to make Stephanie laugh, and she wasn't ready for it. And I was like,
And
tits
we're
up, and she
huge
was
Marvelous
like,
Mrs. Maisel fans. Yes. Oh my God. When she said it, I started laughing, and that's what we needed to then be like, okay, boom.
yeah,
But
yeah. But there was a
No.
lot of like, I don't want to say boring conversation. Like, of course they have to cut it out, but I mean, like, we talked about numbers for like 30
Yeah.
minutes, you know, like all
And
the fun
sometimes
stuff that
you
they
watch
show.
They're
Yeah.
like, we have sold 10. Like, and I'm like, where's the proof? Where are the facts? Like, they're just investing on nothing. That makes more sense if they like really
They
talk
really
about
do. Like, they ask you like
it.
the most intricate numbers. And it's at a point where you're like, okay, I know this is a TV show, but it's literally like a board meeting, you know? And then they kind of make it more, I think they make it more family friendly and like, and funny.
Mhm.
And I think that the editors do a really good job at that. But at the end of the day, it's like very, very numbers focused. Like I swear I had to like tap into like the accounting part of my brain, like deep down in there.
which is,
Because
I
Stephanie and
know.
I are so creative more than anything else. And so we have to really turn on that other part of us. It's really hard. It's really challenging. But thank your Nana for tuning in. We were appreciative.
I will. She's going to be so starstruck after this.
Does she listen to podcasts? Does she listen to podcasts or no?
Get her. Well, she has to listen because her granddaughter's on it.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I wanted to ask Rachel, would you take a role if it meant dyeing your hair?
Okay, this is the one I actually do get a lot.
You do get this question a lot?
Well, just like in terms of like, you see things where people shave their hair, they dye their
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Everything depends. Like, if it was for like an indie movie, that I love indies, but like if it was like, something that I was like, oh, like this is just a passion project, maybe not.
Yeah. You could wear a wig.
Spielberg, yeah, that's the thing. First of all, there's wigs now with like everything that I feel like even like convenience wise, my hair would grow out and they would need to keep dyeing it anyway, where a wig would make more sense. But like if Spielberg was like, Rachel, you have to dye, who am I to say no?
I know.
It'll grow back. It'll grow back. I wouldn't want to, and I feel like I'd have like an identity crisis. But like it's Steven after all.
Yeah.
I wanted to know too, you know how like your identity, like all of us, our identity is being a redhead. Is your identity your curls? Like, do you ever want to straighten it?
What's funny is I think what honestly has helped me the most in my career has been like embracing, all of this. And like now I do like my little clips and it's like silly and I feel like it matches me. But for a really long time, like I hated having curly hair. Like even in college, I would straighten it all day, which like, as you can imagine, every single strand of my hair. And I went to someone that does curly hair and they're like, you cannot burn your hair every day. But no, for the longest, like I love a good blowout. I love my hair straight, but I was like, at some point, like I need to just focus on what I have. And that.
Yeah. And I'm sure you stand out even more that you have curly red hair.
Yeah.
I would think so. Like when you go to the auditions and there's other redheads, do you notice if like it's straight or curly or a mix?
It's definitely a mix. But I feel like the curly, a lot of my friends, I'm Jewish and like we all have our curly Ashkenazi hair.
Pretty.
And my friends did the, what is it? Brazilian
blowouts.
The Brazilian blowouts.
And I was like gonna do it and I never did. So now I feel like a lot of my friends don't have the curly hair anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to it.
I think you should.
Absolutely. Have you noticed, I'm just curious, that your hair as you've gotten older, has your red hair color changed at all? Or no?
I don't know if color changed, but the curl, like, it's like your hair goes through puberty. Like I look at pictures of me in high school and like curls are all different. And like at some point I was like fully, I don't know. It's very weird.
It changes.
My hair definitely has faded. I have to use like at-home color depositing shampoos just to up my red because there's been times, not recently, so I think I'm doing an okay job, but years ago where someone was like, wait, you own a company for redheads, you have brown hair. And I remember like being
what an
so
identity
hurt.
crushing comment.
Yeah, I was so upset. but I know I have a routine, kind of like, Rachel, you have a routine with your curls. Like I have a routine with upping my red hair at home. I used to go to a
Yeah.
salon, but after COVID, I kind of just realized I learned how to do it myself. But I don't put dye in it. It's more just, color enhancing, but I have to because my hair is not nearly as red. And then I actually had straight hair, completely straight. My mom said she didn't even need to put a comb in my hair growing up because it was so straight until I hit like
It's
9,
true.
10, 11 years old. And then
Yep.
it went super curly, right, Adrian? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
And
weird.
and then a couple years later I hit puberty. So I don't know if it was like my hair got curly before I hit puberty because hormones were getting all situated.
We interviewed someone. I just want to say, Rachel, this is the 40th podcast. You're number 40. That's how many we've been doing.
Oh, that's so exciting.
But I think at the beginning of this season, I do think someone told us that they had curly hair and then they hit menopause and it went straight. So
Yeah,
you
that's
never know what's in
interesting.
store for your red hair, right? Like you could just change. I don't like that. I want to know that it's like always going to be like my hair, but I guess it does change and you have to embrace it.
I hate when people are like, "Oh, I used to have hair that color," and I'm like, "What happened? Where did it go?"
I know.
I know. It's like,
are you going to dye your hair someday, or are you going to let it go white?
I am.
I don't. Well, for the longest time, because it's like redheads don't go gray, and in my head it was like, oh, they just have red hair forever. It's like, no, they go white. But I was like, I'm probably gonna. I live in LA. Everyone dyes their hair. I'm gonna have my Botox. I'm gonna dye my hair.
Same.
Do it. Yeah, same. Me too.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So tell us what's next for you and what I know we can look forward to seeing you on Shrinking season 2, but what is next for you? Do you have any exciting plans or goals?
Yeah, let me think. That's a good question. Season 2 will come out hopefully soon. I don't know. They'll announce it. I will find out when they announce it. I'm like working on some things that the announcements will come soon. Queen Bee is open right now at the Hollywood Fringe Festival.
Cool. That's awesome. Congrats on that.
Hopefully I know my lines. We'll see for sure. And then me and my friend are producing a film in July called Copy Credit No Pay, and we're gonna all the producer stuff, which is really difficult. Props to you guys.
No, it is just there's so much detail that goes into everything. Like just every detail is just so important. Yeah. Stephanie and I say, you have to just perfect those details and it takes so much time.
100%. 100%. I know. And I'm so not like numbers focused.
No, neither are we. I got like a D in calculus in college, and Adrian had to go to the head of the department with me one day to just like try to change the grade, or else like I couldn't stay in the business school.
We never told our parents either. Like they somehow like never asked for our grades.
She gave me a B- because she said you guys had you had the guts to come to my office, but she was just one of those professors that went into class, didn't even say hi, didn't acknowledge, start writing on the board, and then I got like I think I got an F in the class. I think I did get an F, and then she changed it to a B- as like a pity.
She could have given you a C-. That was nice.
Good for you.
I know, but numbers are just not our thing.
Even though we run a business and like we have to do it all the time, we really do.
Yeah, I've gotten better, but yeah.
Well, Rachel, it was so nice to have you on. So nice to meet you. Thank your grandma for watching and tuning in, and just so nice to connect. And we're going to be, championing you, with your career. So just keep going.
And we can't wait for season 2 of Shrinking.
Thank you. I'm such a fan. So is my name. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.